Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So one thing that I do on my cars is lights. I am obsessed with lighting, kind of finding the right look and the right style. And if there's ever a point to make it better, I'm always going to take that opportunity. Thankfully with the F80 M3, pretty much all of the lights are pretty nice. I'm really happy with the factory options. I have the icon lights that was an option from the factory in the 2018 comps. So I'm really happy I ended up getting those. I got the yellow DRLs, nothing crazy, but the taillights were a little boring to me, a little too vibrant red and not my style. So overall, I do like the OEM look, but as I mentioned, the red taillights on the stock F80, F82s, it distracts me from the lines and it's too bright. So I ended up doing the VLand GTS style taillights, which you guys saw me install about a year ago now, so I've been running them ever since. I'll do a little demo for you guys so you can see them. I'm sure you guys have seen them, they're pretty popular. But ever since then, I've been on the hunt for a different set of taillights. And that set of taillights that I'm speaking about are the OEM Euro Shadowline taillights. Now, basically, it's the OEM taillight, which I love, but there's a couple differences between them. One, they're actually darker, like a darker cherry red like this. And also they're an amber turn signal. So the OEM taillights that come on the US spec F80, F82s, the taillights are a really vibrant red, which I'll show you, they're in there right now. And also they have a red turn signal. Bothers the living crap out of me because the front turn signals and the headlights are amber. The mirror signal lights are amber as well, but the rears are red. And the Euro versions of these cars get the really nice amber taillights. So I actually ended up purchasing them brand new from IND. I've been looking for a used set. I did come across one, but unfortunately it just wasn't to my standards. There were some issues with them. They weren't perfect. So I was like, you know what? I want them anyway. It's something that I've always wanted to do and I think this car deserves it. So I ended up picking up an OEM set of Euro Shadowline taillights. I'm going to be installing them in this video. I actually don't have them yet. They're going to be arriving in a few days, but I ended up selling the GTS style taillights. So I'm going to be removing those, packing them up in the box, shipping them out to the new owner, and then later on in this video I'll catch back up with you guys and install the new ones. Let me go ahead and show you what the GTS style looks like, kind of all the functions of them, and then we'll go ahead and remove those, and I'll show you what the Euro versions look like once they come in. All right, so this is basically the startup feature of them. They do a little dance, so if we unlock it, you guys can see it kind of does that little kind of startup sequence, which is really cool. I think they're really nice, and then they kind of fade in and out and then eventually on like that. So that is your running lights, and as you can see, it has a cool kind of dragon scale look to it, which is very much like the GTS style. These are not the OEM GTS style. The M4 was the only one that had the GTS style, the OEM ones, and those are 10 grand if you were to buy them for your M4. And I thought what I spent on the Euro ones, which are around 1,400 bucks, was crazy. Imagine spending 10 grand on taillights just to get the OEM GTS style. But either way, so these do look really good and I've been really happy with them. The fitment is really nice. The coloring of them is really nice. I think it's a nice kind of look for a relatively reasonable cost. These are about 400 bucks or so, but they are aftermarket, and that's the one thing that kind of bothers me. The car is so perfectly done that I feel like this car deserves an OEM option. So that is one of the reasons why I decided to go with the OEM Euro ones. Another nice feature is that the reverse lights are full LED, which is nice. And the blinker, which I'll show you as well, is a full amber sequential signal as well, which is really nice. However, I'm not a big fan of the sequential, to be honest. As you can see, it is amber because the front or the main OEM turn signals are not sequential. So it kind of throws it off a little bit. I'm not a big fan of sequentials. I think it looks a little, in my opinion, too cheesy. So I believe on the M4 versions you can turn that off, but on the F80 versions you can't. On the M4 versions you unplug something. This one you cannot do it. Really weird. But yeah, there's the look of them. The brake lights are actually this light in here, which lights up, which looks cool. But again, I want that OEM kind of plus look, and the car I think deserves the OEM Euro Shadowline. So let me go ahead and get these off, get them packed up, and shipped out to the new owner. got the Bay Optic V-Land tails off of the car. I got all the stuff in there that I'm going to be obviously reinstalling once the new ones come in, but here they are. Honestly, they are a really nice set of taillights. I'm gonna clean them up. They're a little dirty just because the car is dirty. But the one thing that I'm actually really excited about is, as you can see, there's a lot of different harnesses and wires and resistors and stuff that you need to install with these, just because of the nature of them and everything. So you know, I'm kind of excited to kind of get rid of all that and just clean it up, because the OEM ones just plug straight into the OEM plug and you don't need to run any other resistors or harnesses or anything like that. So it's super simple, cleans everything up. Same thing up here, there's a bunch of resistors for the inside tails that are on the trunk here. So it's just kind of cleaning everything up, which I just like overall. But again, for 400 bucks or so, you cannot go wrong with these. I've been running these for about a year now, and they are really, really nice. I love the coloring of these. I'm excited to get the Euros in. I wish I had them now so I can show you side by side, because I believe the Euros are a little bit lighter than this. They're not as dark, which honestly, for my color, I think is going to be in my benefit, just because I think it's a good mix between the OEM super vibrant reds and these really darker ones. So I think it's going to look really good. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and clean these up, get them packed in the box. I'm going to show you what the OEMs look like. Actually, I'll do side by side so you can really see the difference. And then we'll pick back up once the new ones come in. All right, here we go. So here's side by side. These are the OEM LCI versions, which honestly are really, really nice. The one thing that I do notice a difference on is that the blinker, the turn signal, is not as bright as OEM, which is to be expected. But it's really nice to have as bright of a turn signal as the fronts. The fronts are super bright, but I always found that the sequential on these are a little bit duller. You can obviously still see them, but they're not as prominent and as bright as the OEM ones. But man, I forgot how clean these things are. These things are beautiful. But essentially, the Euro ones are exactly this, but the whole lens and inside is darker. So it's got the nice BMW logo there since it's an OEM piece. And it's just a little bit darker tinted. Not as dark as this, but close. So it's kind of in between this. So it's gonna be really nice. Another thing that I did when I had these is, you can kind of see in there, I actually have an LED bulb in there, reverse light, which does not throw any codes or have any issues. I ran them on the car, no problems at all. So I'm gonna throw those in the Euro ones. So I'll have an LED reverse light in there, because these were really nice, because there was a nice strip of LED in there. It was super bright and white and looked very updated and modern. So that kind of gives the same look. So I'm excited I found those. Those were hard to find, but I managed to get some. I'll link it below if I can find them. I know they were out of stock for a while, so I'll see if I can find them again. But I really, really wish I had the Euro ones in so I can have all three here so you guys can see the difference. But unfortunately, they're not going to be in for a few days, and I got to get these shipped out tomorrow. So yeah, all right, let me go ahead and clean these up. I'm going to pack them in that box. I'm always happy that I keep the boxes for everything, because everything fits perfectly. So gonna get these packed up, ship them out tomorrow. Then I'll catch back up with you guys once the new Euro ones come in. New taillights have arrived from IND. I actually ordered these 2 days ago, so they got here super quick. If you guys know, when I ordered my Euro sun visors, they took 2.5 months to come in. They had to get them shipped from Germany. I ordered them through IND. Took a really long time. So I actually reached out to IND and was like, hey, just want to confirm, do you have these in stock? I don't want to wait 2 months. And Ryan from IND got back to me super quick. He was like, yep, we actually have a set ready to go. And within about 20-30 minutes of me purchasing this, I had a tracking number and it was on the truck headed my way. So they got here in pretty much a day. So huge shout out to IND. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Ended up shipping out the GTS tails. New owner already has them and they're already on his car. So everything worked out very, very nicely. But let's go ahead. Let's unbox these, open them up, check them out. See the difference between the two. Now in natural IND fashion, they are wrapped like crazy. So I do appreciate all the extra precaution they took when shipping these things, because that would really suck if these were cracked or broken. But by the looks of it, definitely not. So I'm gonna spend the next, 30 minutes unraveling all these, and then we'll do them side by side next to the US spec ones and show you the differences. All right, guys, that no joke took probably about 15 minutes. I mean, look how high all this stuff is. Crazy. I always appreciate all the extra packaging IND does, but here we go. Here is the difference. I know it seems very, very minor, but in person, it is a much better look. So if you look on the side here, there's a vibrant red, and this is much darker. And as you can tell up here, it's a little bit lighter because of the amber They can't tint this completely red like that, because then it obviously would show up amber. I believe underneath these, this is an amber light, but since the actual lens is red, that's what creates the red look. And here are the trunk lights. So as you can see, we got vibrant red all around, and then we got the darker trim all around. So again, a very, very minor detail. Personally, I think it's worth it for the darker coloring. Plus, this is an OEM BMW part. So if you look over here, we got the BMW marking, kind of hard to see with the glare, but BMW in there. So it's an OEM BMW part, which is really nice. Also, as you can see, it's just one plug right there. So I don't have to deal with any harnesses or extra resistors or anything like that. Any extra wires. Could be super clean. And the amber turn signal is super, super bright compared to the GTS, which is really, really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these installed. Pretty simple. It's actually much easier than doing the GTS ones. You don't have to run any harnesses or wires or anything. Simply just plug it right into the factory harness, bolt everything up, and we are good to go. So let me go ahead, get these installed, then we can show them off. Guys, taillights are installed. Looks absolutely beautiful. I am loving it. It is the right amount of tint without being obnoxious and looking aftermarket. Fitment is, of course, top notch. There is no fitment issues whatsoever because this is an OEM BMW part. So really awesome. I ended up throwing the LED bulbs in for the reverse lights. So I got some nice LEDs in there. I'm also thinking about doing the little tint on the reverse section here, so it's not clear. It's just a little piece that fits that kind of spot. I may pick those up and throw them on there. Also, I've seen, if you guys know Dubcest, he has the Atlantis Blue F80, beautiful. He actually has the same taillights, but he also put some 50% expel tint on there to darken them up a little bit as well. So I may be thinking about doing that as well. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just gonna rock it like this for now. But yeah, everything looks absolutely beautiful. It brought it back to that kind of era. The GTS, again, looked really cool, but this style just looks, I mean, it fits the car. It's what it came with, you know, so it just looks even better. But so if you guys notice, also, I changed up the plate. I went with a as custom as I possibly could go on the New Jersey plates. So kind of cool. I hate the yellow, but it's better than all yellow. So a little touch that I just threw on there. So there is the basic functions of them. Sorry, kind of hard to see, kind of wash things out a little bit, but looks absolutely beautiful. Super vibrant amber turn signals, which matches the mirrors as well as the headlights as well. So we got amber everywhere and it just looks so much better. And just everything about it is so much more vibrant and bright, and the output is way better. One other cool thing before we wrap this up is I wanted to enable the rear fog lights. This is something that's already factory in the European models. Also, I believe the F80 as well. And I'm talking about the rear fog light. So there's actually a little light in here. There's actually a little button that we're going to enable and then code the car with BIMR code to turn that on. Cool little feature. And let's go ahead and I'll show you how to do it. So on the interior of your F80 or F82, M3, M4, there's these two little blank buttons right here. Now, if you guys notice, they don't press, but they are buttons. This is actually for the front fog lights and this is for the rear fog lights. So what we're actually going to do is pop this little module out and get these buttons working first. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that, and then we can move on to the actual coding. All right, so in order to get this little module out, first things we need to do is remove this vent. All you do is get behind here and pop it out. Really, really simple. There's no connections or anything, so that comes right out. All right, so now we're gonna move on to this little module. There's actually two clips on top, one right here, one on the other side, and we're going to push them in and I can't do this one-handed, so I'm going to put the camera down, but you push them on each side, and then this piece comes out, and then there's a connection back there we're going to disconnect. All right, so you can see the little pins right there. You kind of just push down and then put some pressure and pull them out nice and carefully. Then we got one connection back there. Again, I don't know if I can do this one-handed, but let me pop that out, and then we'll get cracking on how to actually get those buttons working. All right, so we got the module out of the car. Now we got to remove this back piece, and there's clips. Let's see, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all we're going to do, simply pry up a little bit. It doesn't take a lot of pressure. Be careful. These are pretty fragile, but just kind of pop it up like that on each corner. And then it comes out like that. Now there's only one way for this to go. Obviously you can see the little knob here goes in that little slot, so hard to mess up. But if you take a quick look, you can notice these are buttons. So if you look here, you can't push them, but the rear fogs is actually the bottom button. So we're simply just going to push forward. That button comes out. Now if we take a look on it, you can see these little, let me get my screwdriver. You can see these little notches. So 1, 2, on the other side, 3. And what we're actually going to do is either file them down, or you can shave them with a razor, and then that button will be able to push. So basically what those are doing is making it not able to push. So let's go ahead and shave them down. So if we take a razor, it's very soft plastic, so just kind of pry it up like that. On the other side, same thing. And then the last one over here. All right, so now we got the little tabs shaved off. We're going to insert it back in there. Put this module or the little backing back on. Clip it into place. Now it's a button. So we can actually do the same thing on the top as well if you want, but I don't have fog lights, so I'm not going to bother with it. I'm going to leave it as a dummy button, but it's a button now. So we're able to now control the rear fog lights, but we have to code it in first. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now we're actually going to code it in. You need BIMR code, you need a license for that. You need an Ethernet cable to OBD2. So I also have it screen recording so you guys can see it a little bit better. But first thing we're actually going to do is log in or connect to BIMR code. Then the first thing we're going to code is FEM, which is the front electronic module. I got my little cheat over here. And then we're going to click expert mode, continue. And then we're going to scroll down to 3060, which is LCE master. And then we're going to, it's all in German, so a little tough, but we're going to click NSL Verbot. And we're going to make sure that Verbot is checked, which I believe is on, and 9 means no. So no, yes, I don't know. I can't read German, but we want to make sure Verbot is checked. And then we're going to go back. You're going to hit code first. I already did it, actually. I already went through it just to make sure everything worked. So hit code. It's going to go through a thing. Takes about 30 seconds and you're good. Once that is done, you go back. Now we're going to scroll all the way from the second one to the bottom, which is rear electronic module. Let that go in, and then we're going to click expert mode again, continue. Now we're going to go to 3063, which is LCE lamp mapping 2. So a lot of different words here, but we're going to scroll down to, what is it? Mapping Nebus, I don't even know how to say it. Mapping that word L output, which is this one right here. Click on that. Make sure NSL_L is selected. Go back. Then go to the second one under that, which is mapping L function, this one. Click on that. Make sure that is enabled. Go back. And then now we're going to do the same thing for the right side. So we're going to scroll down to mapping Nebus R output. Click on that. Make sure NSL_R is selected, which it already is. Go back. And then we're going to go to under that one, which is mapping R function, and make sure the first one selected, the Nebel whatever. And then we can go back. You guys can hit code at the top right corner. It's going to do its thing. and then you are done. All right, coating is complete. I did a little test, it worked. So we're gonna turn the car, just the ignition, or sorry, the accessory mode on. So we actually need to turn the lights on. This is in auto. Now, if we look right here, you'll notice when I press this button, a light comes on. So if we go into the back, you guys can see that there is an extra light on right there. So cool little feature. Now what this actually is obviously if it's foggy out and the visibility is very, very low, you turn those on so people behind you can actually see better. Let me turn these lights off so you can see it a little bit better, but how cool is that? I was able to code that in completely free. You don't have to buy anything, just code it in and you get some cool rear fog lights. So you can actually see them turn on and off in the reflection of the truck when I'm pressing the button. So huge shout out to my buddy Tommy L Garage. I'm sure you guys know him. I followed his tutorial and he kind of was able to walk me through it, and pretty darn awesome. So if you guys are looking for some rear fogs, you can do them in the US spec as well. They are there, so it doesn't have to be the Euro versions, but yeah, pretty awesome. All right guys, so I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. I'm gonna take the car out so you guys can see some daytime shots, but really cool mod. Got a few things done on here. Got the new taillights, new license plate. We also coated in the rear fog lights as well. So everything's really coming together. Now, quick little update. I ended up selling a part of my exhaust and I got a new one coming. So we're gonna have some new exhaust videos coming very, very soon. Very excited about that. All right guys, so I am going to wrap it up here. I didn't get a chance to get the car out and kind of show you some daytime shots, but I'm actually going to get these tails tinted 50% with Expel, just to kind of darken it up a little bit, get a little bit darker look, and just kind of tie everything really nice. I was going to do the little strip right there, but I know Dubcess did the 50% Expel. Looks beautiful, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'll make another video and showing you all the details of that and everything. But figured I'd wrap it up, show you all the taillights, kind of full-blown everything on so you can see all the details of it. We got the beautiful amber turn signals, we got the Euro fog lights, LED reverse lights, and obviously the darker tinted red around the entire taillight. So it looks amazing, super happy with the look. Yes, these are expensive, but I highly think they are the best option out there, especially if you want that OEM plus look. All right guys, so if you have any questions at all about the install, the Euro tails, or anything else on the car, please leave them in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.